Welcome to today's video. If you don't know me, I'm Ellie Hobart, and in this video, I will be sharing all of the fees that Amazon sellers need to pay. And this video is not only for those of you who are looking to get started on selling on Amazon, but also for existing sellers. Because I found that a lot of sellers either don't know every single fee that they have to pay to Amazon, or they're a little bit misguided on the amount. They might think they're being charged X, where they're actually being charged more, and then their profit keeps shrinking and they have no idea. And I'm telling you from personal experience, and I'll be sharing more details about this a little bit later in the video. I'll also be sharing all of the links from Amazon Seller Central for you to refer to in the description below. And if you want to skip to a specific fee that you're interested in, you can also check the timestamps in the description below. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right, so here are the fees that we're going to be covering today. We have account fee, referral fee, fulfillment or FBA fees, storage, customer return fees, removal fees, and fees for optional services. So let's start with the account fee. So when you sign up for your Amazon Seller Central account, you're going to have two options. You can choose to have an individual account or a professional account. For the individual account, that is completely free, but you're going to be paying 99 cents per item sold. And for the professional account, it is $39.99 US dollars per month, and you can sell as many items as you want. So just for perspective, if you're planning on selling more than 40 items per month, then it's definitely worth it for you to switch to the professional account. Not to mention that there are several benefits and specific programs that you're only eligible if you have a professional account. So that's very important to keep in mind. Next, we have the referral fees. So the referral fee is the fee that you pay Amazon for pretty much the privilege to use their platform. Amazon has done a really good job building their brand, building their website, their platform. They have built trust with so many people across the whole world where people go to Amazon.com or any other marketplace and they know that they're going to find anything that they're looking for. So in order for the privilege for you to list your product on Amazon, then you're going to have to pay a fee. And if you put that in contrast, if you're only selling on your website, for example, how many people actually know to go to your website? You have to pretty much pay for that traffic to your website. So it makes sense that you have to pay Amazon a certain fee to use their platform. And that fee is based on your product category. So it's going to be a fee per unit sold, and it's going to be a percentage of the total sales price. The average percentage is about 15%, but again, it's based on categories. So some categories might be a little bit more like 17, or some might be less like 12, 13%. And just an important note that this percentage of total sales price, this includes everything that the customer pays for. So it's going to be your total price, but if they pay extra for gift wrap, if they're paying for a certain fee, if you're fulfilling it yourself and you're charging them for an extra fee, all of that is counted in the total sales price. And then you get the percentage of that. So the next fee is the fulfillment fee. This is a fee that you pay Amazon for them to pick, pack, and ship your products to your customers. So if you don't want to deal with storing your inventory and processing every single order, printing the labels and shipping it to customer yourself, or you don't want to partner with another warehouse, then Amazon can do that for you through their FBA program. But of course, you need to pay a fee for them to do that for you. This fee is a fixed price per unit sold, and it's based on the product size and weight or the dimensional weight. And I definitely want to make a comment on this, but first, just to clarify, it's a fixed fee per unit sold. That means that even if one customer buys multiple of your products, like if they buy 3, you're going to pay that fee 3 times. There's no discount for, like a multiple order. It's based on each individual unit. So as I said, this fee is based on your product size and weight or dimensional weight. So there's a couple of catches here. First, whenever you first hear about FBA fee and you learn about it and how to calculate it, you usually hear that you just have to find your product size tier based on the dimensions of your product. Then you look at the weight to determine your FBA fees. However, the first catch, and I'll show you that in a second here, if we look at the product size tier, the first catch is that the dimensions that you look in order to determine your size tier is not just mentioned on your product alone. It is based on the packaging that is needed to fit your product in order to ship to customers. So you may have a really thin product, but if you are required, a bubble wrap envelope, and that bumps it above, for example, 75 inches, you're no longer in the small standard size product tier. You're bumped to the next one. And you can see here all of the different product size tiers options and the corresponding dimensions and weight for them. So as I said, you have to look at your dimensions and honestly kind of guess that Amazon's going to bump that a little bit more because of the packaging. So let's say, including the packaging, you have determined that you're here on the large standard size. Now you would move to the next step. Now open the next link in order to determine your FBA fees. Now, if I scroll down, you can see here that the fees are determined based on the size tier, and then you look at your product weight. So what you would do is you're in the large standard. Let's say your product weighs between 6 and 12 ounces. With the latest update of the fulfillment fee surcharge, your FBA fee would be $3.96 per unit sold. So this would be your fulfillment fee. However, the second catch is that dimensional weight issue. And I'm speaking of this from personal experience because we've had several products that were laying right here on large standard, but with, 6 ounces or less, or between 6 and 12 ounces. However, they say right here, if you scroll up, that in certain cases, and they are not very clear about those cases, that in certain cases, dimensional weight is used instead of the unit weight to determine their shipping weight. I have spoken with Amazon seller support, and they have confirmed that one of those cases is that when you fall under the large standard size tier, then they will be using dimensional weight instead of dimensions and then the weight to determine the FBA fees. And there are other circumstances as well that you can find in the link below. And you can also see how you can calculate dimensional weight. Right here, you just have to multiply. I'll show you here. You have to multiply all of your package dimensions, so width, depth, and height, and then divide by 139. And that dimensions in inches. So you multiply everything, then you divide by 139, and that's going to give you your dimensional weight. And for me, we had several products that it went way above. The dimensional weight bumped the FBA fee to over 1 pound. So it went from, for example, 372 to 540, which is a big difference in your profit margin. So it is definitely something that I recommend you spending some time, not only planning your product packaging. So make sure that maybe you adjust some of those dimensions to where you can go to the small standard size tier, or if you can't, you can adjust it to where that multiplication is going to be a little bit smaller. Maybe you can fold your product or anything like that to reduce that dimensional weight. Next, we have storage fees. And obviously this fee only applies for those of you selling fulfilled by Amazon. So Amazon needs to store your inventory, and they're obviously going to be charging you for that. And there are two different types of storage fees. There's the monthly storage fees and long-term storage fees. So first, monthly fees are based on three different things. First, the average daily space that your inventory occupies. So it's all based on volume. And again, you have to calculate the depth, width, and height to determine what is going to be your fee. But you also need to look at the product size tier and the time of the year, because depending on the time of the calendar year, it's going to be one fee or another once you have determined the first two. So let me show you that quickly here on the monthly storage fees. It tells you all of the details, product size tier, as we talked about previously, and also other details like if you're selling dangerous goods or things like that. So make sure you check the link in the description below. And if you scroll down, you're going to see the different prices based on time of year. And that's going to be from January to September. There's going to be one fee of 83 cents per cubic foot for standard size, or if you're on oversized, it's going to be 53 cents per cubic foot. But that gets significantly more expensive during their bestseller time of the year, Q4 that we call, which is from October to December. Pretty much triples, as you can see right here. And for dangerous goods, it's also a specific cost as well. So make sure you take this into account when you're calculating your profit numbers, because a lot of people ignore it. And especially, as you can see, during Q4, this can have a huge hit on your numbers. So make sure you don't forget about that. And then we have the long-term storage fees. And those are charged monthly as well, but only on inventory that is at Amazon's warehouse for longer than 365 days. And the way that Amazon calculates your inventory age is obviously based on how long they've been on the warehouse, but the way that they move your inventory is also in an orderly basis. So if you ship your inventory today, it starts counting for their age. And once you get a customer order, the first inventory that arrived, those are going to be the first ones to be shipped as well. So let's say you do two separate shipments. One arrives today, the other one arrives 30 days later. The first orders that you get are going to come out of the first inventory that arrived. So if you have inventory that it's in Amazon's warehouse for longer than 365 days, it's because you have not been able to move that for 365 days. It's not because Amazon shipped a newer shipment in to a customer, if that makes sense. All right, so next we have customer return fees. And let me tell you, so many sellers do not know that they actually need to pay a fee every time a customer returns their product. So the way that it works is that there is the processing fee and the administration fee. Processing fees only applies to apparel and shoes categories, and that is charged based on the product size tier and the shipping weight. So again, if you're not selling in one of those two categories, you do not need to pay for return processing fees. And here you can see all of the details of that processing fee. Again, it's based on size tier, shipping weight, and then you can see the exact amount that Amazon is going to be charging you per unit returned. But even if you're not selling one of those two categories, you still need to pay an administration fee. And that is going to be charged per unit returned. So again, if a customer returns 2 or 3 of the products that they bought from you, you're going to be paying this 3 times. So per unit return. And this is extremely important to know. I can't stress this enough because a lot of sellers don't know that Amazon does not reimburse your FBA fees when a customer returns a product to you. They will only reimburse the referral fee minus the administration fee, which is calculated based on a percentage of the referral. I know this sounds a bit complicated, but I'm going to show you an example of how that actually works. So here you can see on the top the actual transaction details for when the customer purchased that product. So as you can see, the customer paid $21.95 for the price of the product plus the product tax, $1.21, bringing a total to $23.16. When it comes to product tax, Amazon deals with that for you when you're selling fulfilled by Amazon. So they will collect and they're going to remit that to the authorities. So you don't have to worry about that. But out of that $21.95, you need to pay the FBA fee that was $3.54 in this case, the referral fee, $3.29, and that brings a deposit to you for a total of $15.12. So this is what Amazon would pay you. Obviously, this is not your net profit because there's still the cost of the product to produce and to ship it to Amazon, but this is what Amazon's going to pay you. Now, for this product, the customer decided to return. So let me move myself out of the way here. Okay, so as you can see, Amazon refunds the full amount to the customer. The full product price, $21.95, plus the product tax. But when it comes to you, they're not going to reimburse you the FBA fee, the $3.54 that we saw right here. They will refund you the referral fee, which was $3.29, minus 66 cents. That's the refund administration fee. In this case, it was about 20% of that referral fee. So Amazon is going to take out of your account $19.32. So as you can see, they gave you $15.12. They took away $19.32 for the reimbursement to the customer and to refund their own fees. So as you can see, you're left here with a negative of $4.20. So definitely keep that in mind. Obviously, you got the product back, so you still have the value of the product and you can make the sale again. But a lot of people do not know that they need to take that into account, this fee. And if we keep moving forward, the next fee are removal fees. And again, you only need to pay this if your product is being stored within Amazon's warehouse. If you decide that you either want or you have to remove those products from Amazon warehouses, you have two choices. First, you can choose to return that item to an address within that same marketplace. So if you're selling within the US, for example, you can request Amazon to ship that product that you want to remove to any address within the US. If you're selling Canada, it would need to be an address in Canada. And if you decide to dispose of the product, meaning you have Amazon throw away those items, you still need to pay a fee. They're both going to be charged based on their shipping weight. They're going to be different fees. Return fees are more expensive because Amazon needs to ship that to you. It's more expensive than disposal, but they're both based on shipping weights. And you can see it here, all of the details, again, link in the description below. So based on your size here and the weight of the product, you're going to see it's usually going to be cents unless your product is very big or very heavy, but definitely something that you need to take into account. And it's worth saying that you may want to return or dispose of those products in a couple of situations. One, if you're approaching that long-term storage fees, which are very expensive. If you haven't been able to sell your inventory and you want to figure out other logistics, you want to have them shipped to you or to another warehouse, then you can just select the return, or you can dispose it as well in order for you not to pay that long-term storage fees. And another case is that when Amazon deems your product unsellable. So for example, you have a customer return and Amazon analyzes that product and they think the product is damaged or you cannot really sell it again. Then you can choose, you're going to have to choose to either return or dispose of their product. But there's another option as well, which are liquidations that fall within this seventh fee category, optional services. So liquidation is definitely one of them. You don't have to liquidate your product, but you can choose to do so. And the way that it works is that Amazon is going to use a wholesaler to liquidate eligible items. Not all items are eligible for liquidation. So you definitely need to check that out with the link in the description below. And the way that they're going to charge you is a little bit complicated. So there's going to be a processing fee charged per item based on the size and weight as usual. So first, there's a processing fee of that liquidation. And second, there's a recovery fee. Amazon's going to charge you a recovery fee because they have recovered an amount for you. And that is going to be 15% based on your gross recovered value. And the way that they calculate this gross recovery value, that is usually between 5 and 10% of your average selling price, which is another whole calculation. They usually look at your price on your latest sales history. They look at the price of similar products on Amazon to determine this average selling price. And then they get their recovery fee. So just know that it's not free. A lot of people think they're just going to get whatever like the product cost, the landed cost. You need to understand the breakdown on every single fees. And another two services, optional services that I definitely want to mention that a lot of sellers like to use, but they may not know the cost, are coupons and the Vine program. So coupons is when you offer customers to, for example, $2 off or $10 off that sale price. What a lot of people don't know is that you're going to be charged 60 cents per redemption, per code redemption. And that is completely aside from the discount you gave your customer. So for example, you're giving them $5 off the total price. Once they redeem that coupon, you're not only going to lose those $5 that you gave as a coupon, but you need to pay 60 cents. So simply put, you have to pay $5.60. Obviously, you don't have to pay the $5 to Amazon. You're just going to be receiving less. But again, remember the referral fees that we talked about, that it's a percent of the total sales price. For that specific case, your referral fees are going to be smaller or less expensive as well, because the total sales price is going to be less. But the FBA fee is the exact same. So keep that in mind. And the last optional service is the Vine program, where you can enroll new ASINs in order for Amazon to incentivize sellers to leave reviews. So it's a specific program that buyers sign up and they get your product for free in return for leaving an honest review. It's definitely not guaranteed that you're going to get a 5-star review. So the cost to enroll in the program is $200. Now, they do guarantee that if you don't receive any reviews within, I believe, 6 months, then they refund that amount to you. But if you get at least one review, then you are going to be charged $200. But you can also get many more reviews. It depends on how many items you have chosen to enroll. So when you enroll in the Vine program, you can choose how many items you're going to give away, which is another important thing to know, that you're going to be losing, for example, 30 items in order to give it for free to those customers to leave your reviews. And so you could get, for example, 30 reviews for only $200, but you could also get just one or none. But if you get none, you got the money back. And that's it. That's the overview of all of the fees that Amazon sellers need to pay. And one very, very helpful tool that Amazon actually gives us is their revenue calculator. So you can have access to that through the link in the description below or through your Amazon Seller Central account. And I'll show you how it works. Once you're here on the page, you have two options. You can either get an ASIN of an existing product within Amazon. So find the most similar product to the one that you want to sell, especially based on category, weight, and dimensions. Or you can actually define the product yourself. So if let's say it doesn't exist on Amazon, you just have to put all of the package dimensions, the category, item price, and shipping charged if you're going to, for example, ship it yourself, or if you're going to add anything additional to FBA shipment, which is free with Prime. So you can define your product, or you can copy the ASIN, as I said, and right here under search Amazon catalog, you paste the ASIN, search, All right, and as you can see, first you're going to get some overall details about that product. And you're going to see the unit weight and the package dimensions. That's why I said this is very helpful, because sometimes you have your own product, but you don't really know how Amazon is going to calculate the package dimensions, especially if you have a product that cannot be shipped by itself without Amazon putting it within another box or envelope. So you're going to get here the package dimensions so you can see the actual FBA fee that you're going to get. And if you scroll down, you're going to see two options. So it's going to be the costs if you're going to use fulfillment by Amazon, or if you're going to fulfill the product yourself. You just have to input all of the necessary numbers here. So obviously you have to select a price, usually default to that the ASIN that you put there, the price that they are using. So you choose the sales price, and it's going to show you here the Amazon fees. You can even expand to understand each one of these fees. So the referral fees, if it's, for example, in the clothing category, there's some additional fees that you're going to see here, but in this case, it was not. There's the fulfillment cost, FBA, and it's going to show you here all of the details. And shipping to Amazon, if you want to add how much it costs for you to ship to Amazon, you can add it here to count within your net profit. Then you're going to see the storage cost. And as I said, it depends if it's the first part of the year or Q4. You can switch to see the difference. And it's going to show you right here how much that's going to cost based on those dimensions. And you can add all of your other costs as well, like the cost of goods sold to actually produce the product, so you can get an accurate number, an accurate net profit, which is extremely important. So many sellers focus so much on revenue and completely ignore profit. But honestly, I believe that's why you decide to sell on Amazon, to actually make money. But there's also two other tools that I want to share with you, and those are included in our amazing escape plan vault. One is going to be Amazon FBA fees. So every single fee that you might actually want, they're not by all means mandatory, but there are optional fees. For example, certain tools for product research, or if you want to get a logo design, form an LLC, all of that, then you definitely want to take that into account before you even start selling on Amazon. So link for that is going to be in the description below. And the other tool is going to be your product margin, net profit calculator. So a lot of those fees that I mentioned, aside from the optional fees, are going to be here, where you can input everything. You can determine the sale price and put your product costs. So it's very similar to the product revenue calculator, but you can do some additional fees as well. You can put marketing and advertising or any other additional fees. And on the second tab, you can even estimate your monthly profit based on any other subscriptions that you have, including your Amazon account fee. And those are completely free. The links are going to be in the description below. And I do hope that you liked the video and found it valuable. And if you did, be sure to give a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button right on your screen. And lastly, if you want to learn more about selling on Amazon, a guide from a complete beginner to expert seller, then check the link below in the description for our Udemy course. And we have a sale going on right now. There's a special price through the link, so be sure to check that out. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos.